Hey everybody, we are live. It's the $1,000,000 Mission with Lynn, Carol, and Ellie, and we're back, and we are going to get unstuck today. This is going to be really exciting. But before we move forward, we're going to do our little toast, our $1,000,000 Mission toast. So here's to our little group here, and anybody else that's joining us. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. I'm taking a drink.
And no, it's not vodka, but you know, you never know. One of these nights. And we're going to start off. Yeah, that's one way to get unstuck. So, you know, I was thinking, I wanted to, you know, start off with the image that we shared today for this little hangout. When typically Carol comes up with the title, Ellie comes up with the ideas, and then I do the graphics. You know, we're kind of like we all have our little expertise and, you know, our input on everything. And when I came across that picture with the fork in the road, I thought, oh my gosh, does that make a statement or what? I mean, how many of us get really stuck while we're on our journey, while we're on our road to whatever it is that we're doing? And I thought, it's like a symbol, because that fork isn't stuck. We can move that fork, and we can actually pull it out of the road and keep moving forward. So I thought it was just so perfect, you know, to start off, you know, our hangout tonight. So we're going to go over, you know, some things that, you know, we're going to just chat back and forth on how to stay motivated, how to get unstuck if you think you're stuck in your business primarily, but also, you know, maybe with your life, your personal life, maybe making a decision, or, you know, wherever it is that you are today. We're hoping that what we share with you, you know, can help you move along, be pushed along maybe a little bit. And please leave your comments, questions, anything like that below. And even if you're watching the replay, go ahead and do that, because we check back to this page often, and, you know, we'll be happy to answer any questions, or, you know, we love to hear your comments and things like that. So, you know what we didn't discuss? I didn't know who was going to go first, Carol or Ellie, but I'm going to switch it up to them.
I'll go first.
Okay. You're going to have to mute yourself, Lynn. Yeah, good.
Okay. All right. When we talked about being unstuck and unmotivated, three things actually came to my mind. One is, of course, the foundation of everything, of life, of business, whatever, and that's mindset. And the other is lack of focus. And the third thing is to change up what's being done. Now, let me go into that a little more detail. As far as mindset is concerned, I find that when I have an issue with motivation or feeling a little bit stuck, I start looking back into myself, and I'm saying, what on earth is going on here? And I find that oftentimes it's belief. I keep thinking that I have the belief nailed down, and sometimes it just, the nail starts getting a little bit loose and wobbly in there, and rather than that certain knowing, I can fall back into like hoping, and that's not good enough. Not good enough for me. So what I try to do then, my solution to that is I'll maybe meditate a little more than I had been doing, and I always read. I keep reading the books on mindset and personal development, and just focus on that kind of thing. And then secondly, I find that oftentimes I get lack of focus again. I'm a big one. I don't know, I was never diagnosed with ADD or anything, but I'm a big one to get carried away into this shiny ball syndrome that they talk about. And, you know, I can start on something, and I have a plan in my mind, and I'm all set and ready to go in that direction, and then, boom, I'll see somebody say something, or I'll read something. I'll say, oh, man, that looks good. Let me see what I can do with that. And that's not a help, because then I end up just going around in circles and getting frustrated, and that certainly impairs my motivation. So again, I just try to focus back again. And once I become aware of it, that's the biggest thing, to become aware of it, and then go back to where I was probably, and focus on the one thing. Somebody had told a colleague of ours that just pick one thing and stick with it if it's working. Don't be messing around with a whole bunch of stuff. Then once you get that nailed down, then go ahead and branch out and try something else. And the third thing that comes to my mind is, this almost sounds like I'm contradicting myself, because I'm saying change what's being done. I'm not saying lose your focus. I'm just saying maybe look at it from a different perspective, or try another method to get to the direction that you're going in. So those are the three things that come to my mind when I think about lack of motivation, or becoming unmotivated, or getting stuck. And those are the three things that I try to do once I become aware of it, to get myself back in motion again. So that said, let me back off, and I don't know, shall I pass it off to you, Ellie?
Sure. I just wanted to do that. So, stuck. We've all been stuck. And I actually don't want to depress you, but you're never really stuck. People say, I'm in a rut. And here's the deal. You're either moving forward or you're moving backward. Because life is motion. And energy is motion, and that's all we really are. So I'm not going to get into that whole metaphysical aspect of it, but don't get too depressed, because I think we do a cha-cha. Okay, it's like 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. We go a little forward, we go back, we go a little forward, and sometimes we go back a little more, then we go forward, or we think it. Here's one of the things, the question you really want to ask yourself: are you really stuck? Okay, or are you judging yourself? Because I know, for me, I'm the last person to see my improvement. The last person. Okay? So everybody else will go, ooh, you're doing this, you're doing that. And I see it in everybody else, and I'm thinking, what the hell is wrong with me? So this huge self-judgment that goes on there. I don't know, maybe you're weller than I am. And while I've never been diagnosed either with the alphabet, A, B, C, D, whatever the hell they call it, okay, I've been asked if I was that. So, whatever, okay, I haven't been creative people get termed, get labeled with that alphabet. I know for me, I love the points Carol, hits on, because there is belief involved, and I think stuck comes from overwhelm and that self-judgment. Oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I should be better at this, this is what, and you know what, not just your business, your life. If you're in a position in your life that you're going, I want more out of life, and I want this to change, and you're not seeing your own growth, you get stuck in that, you do get stuck in that mindset. So stuck is a mindset. Ooh, it really is, too. The worst thing I think you can do is perpetuate that. So don't be running around saying, I'm stuck. Because the universe goes, oh, okay, here's more stuck stuff. It really does work like that, So it's stepping back, and if I can acknowledge growth, tiny growth even, in other people, I need to be able to do that for me. In my life, my personal area, in my business, to me it's all one and the same. There is no difference for me. But and some days, do I have more? Do I do more? Do. We're into that doing. Here's a question I've learned to ask myself. Instead of, what are you doing, Ellie? And I'm a doing, I can do. Okay. It's like kind of like it's do, right? What? Ellie, this is what I say. Don't say Ellie if you say it, okay? What am I being right now? What am I being right now? And if I'm in that so-called stuck area, I'm being, okay, probably self-confidence, probably belief, lack of belief. I'm being stuck, that's what I'm being. And is that really what you want to be? So stop yourself. Stop. Here's what happens. That first of all, we have so many old stories, all of us. We just do. Okay, 50 to 70,000 thoughts run through your head on a daily basis. Thank God you're not aware of all of them, because you'd have a damn headache. All right, but unfortunately, I'm being nice when I say 90%. It's probably 95 or 97% of those. I don't want to even say negative. They're limiting, because they're limiting beliefs. They're limiting beliefs. So it's not about going, having a, what do they call that thing? A lobotomy? It's not about that, all right? It really is about just taking that time, because once you get aware of, oh crap, I'm not stuck. I just got some limiting beliefs rolling around in my head. What, doesn't that feel better? Oh crap, stuff feels like that damn fork is in my head. All right? So that just feels better. And it's a truth, okay? I'm not stuck. I just have some limiting beliefs rolling around in my head. You have just put a detour in whatever crazy mindset belief that was rolling around there anyways. You stopped it. That's big what I just said here. Okay? If you would get that, every time you stop it, and then I always teach, and then replace it, and just replace it with, yeah, it is true, it's just limiting beliefs, and I can shift that. Now, how does that feel? That feels a hell of a lot lighter than, oh crap, I'm stuck. I've got no freaking motivation, and look it, I ain't perfect. I'm not telling you I never do that, all right? I catch it a little quicker now, because I've been doing this for years. And so I usually catch it before it starts to roll. And and then there's those days. You want to know what? If you're feeling like that, go first do what we just said, okay, that you're not stuck, and then go do something fun. Sometimes you just got to go do something fun. Or have a glass of wine. It's not really wine. This is beer. But you got to go. You got to be kind to yourself. Being meaner to yourself will not get you unstuck. I hope people get that. We have a tendency to beat ourselves up and then wonder why am I still freaking stuck? I've been yelling at myself for a week and a half because you're just perpetuating that, and you're not giving yourself that space, and you need space to shift. You need space to shift. If you're stuck in between two closed areas there, nothing can shift in between there, right? So you need a little space. You need a little space. So you're not stuck, and you're never going to say that word again. You're going to say, ooh, I just so happen to have some limiting beliefs rolling around. And here's the power. I can shift that. There's power in that. In business, in life, in relationships, in whatever, especially if you're working here on the internet. There are days I get that. Like the technical gods feel like they're beating you up. I know Lynn had a day with her stuff yesterday. I've been there, done that. So just give yourself space and stop claiming, stop owning stuck. I'm going to shut up for a little while. You want to jump in here, Lynn?
All right, I'll jump in here because I love what you, first of all, I love the cha-cha-cha thing. That was really good, Ellie. And then Carol, I wrote down, change up and belief, and that's true. And then when we relate it to the limiting belief, oh my gosh, all of that melds together. So what I wanted to just kind of maybe share is people that are getting started, especially in like this business that we're in, and related just a little bit to this limiting belief. I got to tell you, when I first started, that was something I thought I always had, this self-confidence, this self-belief, until I started this business, and wow, did I find out differently. And kind of feeling sorry for myself and wondering, how did these people do it and I can't do this, So in this industry, you have to, like Ellie kind of touched on, you have to give yourself permission, to give yourself time, to understand that you're going to learn new skills and all this kind of thing. yes, it's going to seem like you're stuck, but it's really you're not. It's you're learning something new, and you may not know what the next thing is to do to keep things rolling. Okay, I know I've got some team members that I've come across and we talk to in events and stuff like that, and I believe stuck is like a form of frustration, but you got to be careful because stuck could turn into an excuse and then excuse yourself out of doing things, and that's not what you want to do. So what I like to always say too is lean on the team. This is something that I learned that one of my mentors early on, she told me, she said, Lynn, you know, this is the one thing that you're coming into a community of people. So lean on the team. Who's your team, or who are the people you're meeting at the events? Go lean on them. And I got to tell you, I am so happy that I've met Ellie and Carol, because we come together, you know, weekly now on this, but also at the events. And it's a great way, and we chat, you know, sometimes on Facebook and things like that. But it's a great way to communicate with someone else of like mind that has, you know, similar or more experience, right? And then that gives you that confidence of like, okay, they got me out of my little stuck, whatever that might be. Because you see, you know, you don't want to be this lone island. I think we talked about that last week. So you want to reach out to your community, to your team, to those people that now you are building new connections, new relationships, new culture, new community. And I got to tell you, that is so empowering when you feel like, you know, you can message someone and then they come back with an idea that had you a little bit stuck, and you're like, oh, I got it. That's going to give me my idea to keep moving forward. So I wanted to pass that along, and then let's see. I just said that the lean on the team. So if you remember that, if you're going to get involved in this industry, find the team, find the community. It's not all about making the money. I mean, we'll show you how to do that. That's the easy part. The big part is your mindset and staying in the game, staying on the playing field, and making sure that you show up every single day dressed and ready for success. So anyway, that's what I wanted to kind of share, and maybe, you know, bounce something off back to Carol or Ellie.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to add another little layer on this then. And I did talk about being stuck, and I like the way Ellie reframed it and went along with looking at it from a different point of view. And I think awareness then came into to my mind. It's a matter of being aware of what's going on, because once you're aware of it, then you can stop that process that's going down the negative path, that's pulling up all this junk from wherever it's coming from, and start us on a new path and reframe this in our mind, as Ellie said. And I just have to jump all over this idea that you said, Lynn, about the team. You know, we have a couple of areas where we get in touch with people. I am so thrilled that we connected with you as well. I'm so happy about this arrangement that we have. It's very exciting. And we have another team that we deal with too. And it is good because one or two of us, there's about half a dozen, 8 people or so that are active in that one. And somebody will get stuck, will start thinking negatively, and put something out there as to what's going on with them. And then, you know, 2 or 3 people will come in, as you said, Lynn, with other ideas. And it's like, you know, the light bulb goes off, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's cool. I can try that. Why didn't I think of that? And yeah, I love it. And the support of the team feels good. And that's what I'm going to say at this point. So I don't know. One of you two want to pick it up again?
Yeah, you know, that is so important. It's just so important. And I have to live. So I was in a conversation earlier today, in a chat conversation, and somebody fairly new in the business, and they wanted all this technical, like, give it to me right now, okay, you know, and I get that. Been there, done that. Sometimes I can still do that. And here was where the beauty of that was. I wasn't the only person in the chat. There was actually people from our community, a bunch of people. And the people just started talking. Some were talking feelings, some were talking so-called, you know, logic, like just do this and go through here and do one thing at a time. And because you could hear the angst, and this was a chat, okay, and you could hear the angst of that person. And then you realized, as that conversation went on, yes, we all want to know, what do I got to do? You know, just give me the thing and I'll follow 1, 2, 3. And there's no way that works anyways, because life is different and we're all in different scenarios and our perspectives are all different. So, and it was her frustration, all right, that she was in that, just give me all the goods, you know? And from that community coming in, and everybody talking a little bit here, and nobody saying, what the hell is wrong with you, you know, and instead people giving ideas, and you know, people giving some logical ideas as well as some feeling ideas. You just then felt her. You could hear her again go like, ah, all right, and like the light bulb went off for her. The light bulb went off for her. Now, was it anything, anyone? Probably not. It was probably not what one person said. All right? It was this community. First of all, it's a vibration. There was a huge vibration surrounding her at that point. And she stepped into it. You know, so I went a little further with the conversation, and I know it was like she was angry with herself, and why wasn't this thing she wanted to happen? And, you know, it made her realize, like, here we all are. We all understand it. We all been there. The ones that get to their dreams are the ones that'll stay in here now and listen and absorb. And I don't mean to be a carbon copy of somebody, because please don't do that. It's not, you know, that's the other extreme. But absorb the information, absorb the also the vibrational information and the community that you have at your hands, all right? And if you allow yourself to absorb it, and you'll bounce around with that for a while, you will really, I believe, you really find your true voice in this community, and you find what you can do with it when you're in a community like this. So I've been there, folks. Been here, done this. I blogged years ago, started a business. So anybody that tells you, oh, you can't blog and start a business, I did. All right, by myself. You know, and Carol says I'm techie. Some people will consider me techie. I had to be. All right, I had to be to do this. So I had to learn what I had to learn. You don't have to do that today, but I did. And was by myself. And you want to know why? So I was in business for myself and by myself. I was lonely. I truly was lonely. I got frustrated more because I didn't have that community like that woman did today, that just stepped in there and just like kind of uplifted her. We don't realize the you know, the impact we have on each other. So it was difficult. And when I stepped over here, what a difference. Because I'm still in business for myself, okay? But not at all by myself. I'm able to utilize, like, there's so many different, we even have like smaller niche communities. I don't want to say niche even, because it's not like cliquey like that. Yeah, but you can get on, you know, a message and ask somebody a question. And I promise you, 99% of them, probably more than that, are going to answer your question. You know, and it's true, like what Lynn said. You know, we hooked up in events, and we always have a good time at events. And Denny comes, so that's cool. We get to meet him also, and then we hook up here. You know, and we're able to say, like, "Ooh, this isn't working for me. Do you know what's going on with that?" There's such a difference here. So it's actually. you don't get stuck as often when you have a community to come to. You start to feel, I've been here, done it. You start to feel like alone and what the hell is wrong with me? Now I have to laugh. I want you to know something. I'm teaching people at that time, or I'm coaching people, and I'm teaching people how to change their lives. And then I'm starting to think, what the hell is wrong with my life? Because I don't have anybody. I'm giving, okay? And I'm not getting. Now, I always have great satisfaction when somebody has an aha in their life, but it was a different. I wasn't getting that upliftment. I wasn't getting fulfilled like that. This was the best decision I ever made. So, and all that technical stuff that we all make a big deal about, when you're in a community like this, I don't care what you do, go find a community, because it's not that difficult when somebody helps you. Somebody else has done it already. That's a big one for me. I have to always remember that. Somebody else done this, okay? If they did it, I can figure out how to do it. And now I have a community to say, oh, damn, who's done this? Come and help me. So that's my 2 cents here. I know it was probably 18 cents, but whatever. I'll shut up.
Actually, I think it was $1 million, advice from you, Ellie. That was great. I loved it. And, it brings to mind about, how we can say we're stuck. But again, there's so many resources, and I have to bring back the fact, okay, I'm going to admit it, I'm in love with Empower Network, folks. I'm admitting it because I am. I believe in the company, I believe in the corporation, I believe in the community, the culture, and everything that is being built here. But guess who's building it? We are. Me and Ellie and Carol, and any of you watching, if you're part of Empower Network, we all own part of the company, okay? And I think Aaron Rashkin brought that up one time. And I think that's a really positive thing to keep in the back of your mind, that if you're a part of a community or a company and you feel like you are a part of something like that, then you should never feel stuck. You should never feel stuck, because you should feel like you can always reach out to someone. And with all the one thing about technology today that we can be, grateful, thankful, and, proud to have is the leverage and the amount of, these social sites with all the groups and everything that all of us can get involved in. There's really, I still believe stuck is kind of like an excuse. So you've got to analyze it, and I think Ellie maybe Carol brought it up, where you have to really think, what's really behind that stuck? What is that fork, that's stuck in the road there? What really is that all about? And how can you twist and turn that and pull that fork out and keep pushing forward? And if it's all about, because I have some, I've known team members that they don't talk to anybody. They don't even ask questions in some of the groups, or in some of the hangouts or the webcast or anything like that. But they'll be the first one to complain, this doesn't work, that didn't work, this blogging doesn't work. I've blogged 3 times and I haven't made a sale, kind of deal. And you cannot build a business that way, and you cannot possibly think that your mindset is clear enough to understand that that's just not going to cut it. So you're probably stuck back in reevaluating your self-belief and these limiting beliefs of why you think that you can't push forward just like everybody else. Because Ellie, Carol, and I, we're no different than anybody else, except that we take the reins and we go with it. And we go, and we go, and we go. And if there's something in our way, well, we might have to take some time out and, ask and get some help and raise our hand and just say, what? Or be self, what's the term? Where you find the answer yourself, be resourceful. We have tons of training, and someone brought up one time that all the training, even the gadgets and the gizmos and the tools that are sold online, some stupid percentage, like 10%, actually get opened and used. Something ridiculous like that. Nobody goes through the training. Nobody opens the tool. Nobody, they don't even look at the PDF. you know, and it's like, yeah, I've got this traffic tripler, and I'm gonna, you know, they haven't even read it, you know, and there's valuable information that can get you unstuck right now, in a minute, in a flash, if you only were more resourceful of things that are around you. And one of them, you know, is like we were talking about the team. So I'm handing it back to Carol. Maybe she's got a comment about that.
I do. I have a couple of comments here. One is what you mentioned about we're part of the. We are the company. Company succeeds or doesn't, you know, based on what we do. And I come out of a corporate world not too long ago, rather recently, and sometimes I have to shift my mindset in that area, but usually it's not too difficult. At any rate, in that mindset, you know, everything is just fed to you on a platter, and yes, I mean, clearly you have to do your job, otherwise the corporation's going to fall. But you don't have to think too much about, you know, how to do it or whatever. And what you said, Lynn, put me in mind of something that I heard on stage last time or the time before from one of the lazy millionaires, the fellow Louis, I think his name is. And he made that exact point, and he was saying that, you know, if something's off, we have no right to go looking and pointing fingers at the company, except to look right back at ourselves, because we are the company, and if there's something off, then it's our responsibility to get going again. So I'm so glad you brought that up, and it reminded me of that. Secondly, I was thinking of again this team business. I am so into that, because one of the first books that I read when I started with this business was Napoleon Hill's Law of Success. I absolutely love that book, and because of what Napoleon says. And he talked about the mastermind group, you know, as and I look at the team meetings as mastermind groups. When you get a group of like-minded people together who do not tolerate negativity and who are going all in the same direction, you know, you can't help but come up with, you create something greater than the amount of people who are in the group. It's like a synchronicity that takes place. And that whole concept, I just love that idea. And you were talking about people buying the tools and not opening them up. I have to laugh, because I had been a real estate investor for a couple of years and enjoyed it very much and liked it. And I went to a lot of events, I guess, and I bought some tools. And I watched so many people buy. People spend thousands of dollars on these educational products, and then, you know, you go, well, what are you doing? Well, I looked at this house, but I haven't put in an offer yet. You know, they haven't done a damn thing. And you know, you figured it out after a while. They call it in real estate, they say pulling the trigger. Who's pulling the trigger and who isn't? So that's true. All right, so that's it for me for right now.
That's huge fear. That's what that is. Even people that buy all these products, and we're a society of instant gratification. Sorry, that's true. Okay, so and I ain't beating anybody up saying that, because we've been brought up to believe that. That's what the freaking commercials and media are all about. You got an ache, take this pill. You got a this, you got a hemorrhoid or whatever. Okay, I won't get into all of that. But they have instant gratification for everything, right? So you start to believe that. So then they're talking about, okay, you know, you can really like have a business online. You can make money sitting in your pajamas. That actually is true. Unless you're going, I guess I could be in my pajamas here, but you can do that. But you know, then people sell that and look for, because there are fools that sell that. And at 3Js, you'll be making $400,000 a month. That is bullcrap. Sorry, that's the truth. It's bullcrap. All right. So people buy these products. They don't have freaking time to even listen to them because they're doing something else over here, all right? And I don't know, they think like it's by osmosis, okay? and still, even if osmosis works, it's not going to take just 3 days. It's going to take longer than that, all right? So it's that whole, and I think some of that instant gratification that media taught is, because it's always something outside of you that's going to fix you. That was big, Joe. Not for nothing, but this is good. I had no idea I was talking about this today. Something outside of you is going to fix you, and quickly. And quickly, okay? It's going to fix you, and quickly. Instead of stepping back and realizing we have everything we really need to fix ourselves. We do. And we aren't broken anyways, all right? We're just in different levels and different areas of our lives, and our perception is huge here. So we have it all. We need to take the time to step back, go back to where, stop claiming you're stuck, stop claiming you can't do this, stop claiming this doesn't work. When we're saying, stop claiming. People say, oh, that law of attraction stuff, it's weird. And I go, it's the way. If you would just step back and look at it, you would realize that is the way life works. You would just see it, all right? When you realize, well, those times when you doubted in yourself and then you didn't go further. And if you don't like the word law of attraction, go get that book, Psycho-Cybernetics. So this is what I'm talking about, all right? It's all about, instead of looking out there, start to work in here. Because that saying, again, is not a cliche. It's the truth, all right? You live life from the inside out. You do. And you're not taught that. You're taught that all these things do these things to you. And I'm not saying things don't stink and things don't hurt, but when you can own this, when you can see, all right, my vibration is what's going on in my life is a reflection of my vibration, which is why most lives go like this, because we go up and down and up and down, and sometimes we go up high and then we crash the hell down. Psycho-Cybernetics will explain that because they talk about that rubber band. I love that book. I read that book so many years ago. It was life-changing for me. It was truly life-changing for me, and I would mark it, like you had the yellow marker or what have you. Then I read it again. I think I used orange. I marked more stuff. Then I read it again. I got to go find it and use green. It looks like a damn coloring book now because there was like nothing in there not to mark. There's so much in there. There really is so much in there. And if you can just get that, all right? The only way I'm going to be stuck is if I keep claiming I'm stuck. Ooh. Okay? I'm just going to claim. I got some limiting stuff going on here, old stuff. It's just an old story. I used to teach that one a long time. It is just an old story. It's just an old story. I don't have to live it. Here's the next thing to do after that. And then say, what do I appreciate right now? You'll raise your vibration like you can't believe. And I don't care where you are, you can find something to appreciate. I don't care where you are, you can find something to appreciate. If you've got to imagine it, okay? But on a whole, I always tell that story when I was doing a timer process that I came up with. I had to ask myself, okay, what's the thing I was doing? So what can I appreciate right now? And I was in the jelly aisle in Walmart. So I was like, okay, I appreciate jelly. I do. I like jelly. So I started appreciating jelly. And so it interrupted the old pattern thought system, all right? And it actually raised my vibration. I thought I was a nut. I started laughing at myself, okay? So it was good. It just cut that heavy, and if you're in a community, and I hope you are no matter what you do, you start coming to them. Not come to them to complain, all right? If you're not complaining and you're in an area, maybe asking a question, those people, you give them that room to help you. You give them that room. If you come in saying, this shit don't work, we have no room to help you. If you can come in and go, this is like getting me, guys, somebody help me, okay, then we can help you. We, and every community, you know, and probably not where you work, because usually your job, some of you have some great colleagues you work with, but a lot of jobs, it's not a huge uplifting. That's not what they're there for. They're not there to uplift you. They're there to do their job so their family can eat. That's why they're there. This is a different reason we're all here. And there's the other one. Why are you getting stuck? What's your why? The big one. What's your why? Why are you doing this? Now, some of you are going to say, for the freaking money. Okay? That's amen. All right? I'm going to say amen to that, because here's where I watch people really get stuck. People go, no, it's not true. You're not here for the money. Then you have a bigger why. So that's probably true. But when you're brand new, you probably don't got that yet until you've been doing personal development. So that's cool. Good. What's that money going to give for you? Because what it really is for freedom. Money is just about freedom. But keep that up front. Okay, keep that up front. If I want to have time freedom, I'm going to find a way to do this. Because that why will shift. I believe that. But you don't got to find your inner why the first week you start a business. I watch people get stuck on that. They're like, oh, what is my inner why? Who cares? Just sit down and do this stuff here. You'll figure it out. This is a journey. Not just this, not just what we're doing. Life is a journey. For me, I'm so grateful to have found the people that we work with, the community that we work with, the business that we work with, because it has just added and escalated my journey. You know, some days my hair's like this, and you know, usually I'm able to fix it back together because it's otherwise it would be boring. Otherwise it would be boring. So there's always like something going on, and you just keep learning to shift it, and it becomes an opportunity. Oh my God, I could go on and on. I have to stop. Thank you.
Hey, Ellie, I wanted to talk about what you said about quit claiming, you know, you're being stuck, because you know what I've noticed lately, as a matter of fact, you know, I pointed out how great it is to have these, you know, online groups and forums and all this kind of stuff. Well, you don't need to go on those things and complain, even on your timeline or your Facebook page or your Twitter or whatever. You know, people go on there or your comments, you know, and you're complaining. Here's the key. People are watching you and you don't even know it. As you're building your business, every piece of content, comment, video, image, whatever you do on the social sites, all of that is being seen by tens of thousands of, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of people. So you have to keep that in the back of your head before you sit down. Because I remember in my corporate days, when I went through this training for sales and marketing, they had us sit down in front of the phone. Yes, we had these telephones. And yes, I am old. And they told us before you picked up the phone, we had to put a mirror in front of us and smile before we picked up the phone. Carol might be able to relate to this, and maybe Ellie too. And so it was like so ridiculous. I'm like, you know, looking at this mirror, smiling, you know, and it was ridiculous. But you know what? It's true. Before you're communicating or sharing information, think about what it is that you want to get across to just one person, because that one person will multiply, you know, exponentially because of technology, because of the internet. So, you know, really think about, you know, when you say you're stuck, you're not stuck. What you're doing is, you know, there's something that is maybe, you know, you got to figure out. There's a little problem. There's a little, you know, like, I don't know how to figure out this autoresponder. I don't know how, you know, to get more leads than just 5 a day or whatever it is. You know, you don't have to get on the social sites and bitch and complain. and everything else that some of these people do, and also put down others, put down other companies, put down other, opportunities or programs or teams, I know it's in us, sometimes I feel like, oh, I'd love to just, really rip into this guy or gal and, really give it to them. And I know we all come across that sometimes, but, being stuck is maybe a way of your inner self telling you, okay, stop and think. What's going on? What's going on in your life, in your business, in your why, in your passion? What something's not right. So it's kind of like maybe a signal. So think of stuck as being a signal, and then go from there, and then don't react. Instead, just step back. And that was one lesson I did learn in management school, in corporate America, was I had a boss that told me that. Lynn, if you're going to manage people, if you're going to lead a team, don't react to people. Be open, listen, and sit back, almost like count to 10. And you don't even have to react or even make any comments or anything until you know inside your heart what it is what's going to come out of your mouth is going to be impactful, as we talked about tonight, meaningful, inspirational, motivational, and lifting for some other people. Because if you can show your inner self that way to others, I promise you, the business will start. I mean, people will start coming to you. They'll start attracting to you, to the point where sometimes you can't even answer all their messages and all that kind of stuff, but that's okay, because now you know that, what you're doing, you're on the right path. So just keep going and mowing and keep going, doing it, and doing it. And I just wanted to elaborate more on that, because I thought that was a really good key, point about stuck and claiming it. Just be careful. I say, if you're stuck, step back and think first before you react. So I don't know if Carol or...
I have to jump in here. If you can show that to other people, it means you've been showing it to yourself. You're going to be it and live it. All right? That is the ticket. Some people go, mindset's 90%. And the rest, I go, nope, mindset's 100%. Oh, but don't you got to learn technical stuff? Yep. But if you got your mindset right, learning that technical stuff is going to be much, much easier. But if you're all technical, I got all the technical, and you're all, not for nothing, you ain't so fun to be around, okay? You're just like two in your head. You're too stuffy, and the people are looking at you on Facebook going, oh, damn, I ain't hanging out with that one. So it really is. I don't believe that mindset's 90%. Mindset's 100%. I'm sorry I jumped in here, Carol.
That's fine. No problem. Oh, Lord, so many things came up. One thing, again, with the stuck business, and you were just saying, Lynn, to sit back, step back a little bit and see what's going on. The image that you put up for today's hangout with the fork in the road, that's just it. Stay focused on where you're going, but you might want to try a little different path. You might just want to go off this way instead of that way, and in the long run, you're still going to get to the same place. I love that, the fork in the road. I just love that what you did. Also, I'm sure most people have heard of that. You're 3 feet from the gold. I heard that story told another way the other day. I don't know if anybody's heard it this way, and it just you hear something a little bit different. This guy was in Africa, and he owned a farm, and he wanted to make some money on the diamonds because he knew people were beginning to mine in his area, and he had no money to get started. So he said, damn, I'm getting tired of this farming business. It's a lot of work. I'm up early in the morning. I don't get to bed till late at night. And it's laborious. So he said, I'm selling this place. And he sold his farm. He took the money and he went out and he started mining all over the place. You know, he was hiring people to help him. He was getting consultants and getting equipment and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Well, needless to say, after a couple of years, he spent all his money and he didn't find a damn thing. Meanwhile, the guy he sold his farm to was out there digging one day, irrigation something or another, and boom, he found this diamond in there. And the more he dug, the more he found it. I guess you guys have heard that story, huh? That was new to me. But, yeah, I mean, we can be right there, and just lose our patience and not want to stick with it. Which also reminded me of something that you and I used to say, Ellie. You actually taught me this, that when I got very frustrated with something or thought that I wasn't going to be able to complete whatever it was, and you said, just say to yourself, I'm in the process of, rather than I can't do this or I can't, I'm in the process of figuring this out. And that to me was the biggest lightener that I could say. I often use that today. It takes such a load off my shoulders. Instead of thinking, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, oh, this is wrong, I'll never learn this. I'm in the process of learning this. I'm in the process of finding out what it is that I need, blah, blah, whatever. So all in all, I have found, and I never, ever expected this out of internet marketing or being in the business world, I have found this to be the greatest opportunity for personal development that I could ever imagine. I mean, every time I turn around, there's something that raises my level of awareness, that makes me look at myself more and say, you know, how can I be different in this arena or whatever? And it's just, you know, every time you say, oh man, I got this one licked now, I'm all set. Boom, no, something else comes up. But it's great. I love it. I love it. So on that note, anybody else?
Are we wrapping things up, Ellie, or did you want to make a comment?
We can wrap up, right? Look, you're not stuck. That's it. And I forgot, those are the 3 magic words. I'm in the process. When you go, I can't figure this out, if you would just stop every time you get into that angst, bulk stuff crap. I can say that. This isn't TV. You're not stuck, okay? I'm in the process of figuring it out. I'm in the process of this working for me. I'm in the process. Those are 3 magic words. They diffuse the junk. You're not stuck. That's it. That's all I'm going to add. This has been great. It's been so great to see everybody. Lynn, why don't you take us on out of here?
All right, because I'm in the process of that was really good. I love that. I wrote that one down. I'm going to use that one over and over again. So thank you. And that's what these hangouts are all about, you guys, is just sharing, you know, from our experience, and hopefully, you know, giving you some feedback that you can run with. And again, anytime you want to interact, you know, please do so. This page is always open to, you know, anyone to come back here and either rewatch or post a comment or whatever you want to do. Our doors are always open, and so I think that's it. I think that we're gonna, you know, sign off for tonight. We'll be back next week. We haven't decided yet, you know. Yeah, and we're gonna do our $1 million mission toast. So good night, everybody, and cheers.
It's a toast to you all. None of us are stuck, and we're all in the process of the $1 million mission.
There we go. Yeah.
Cheers, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. All right, we're going to stop this now. Bye. See you next week.